A blessed, wonderful Wednesday, everybody. I would like to say thank you for being with us today. I am JV Wong from People Ignite, and I am giddy. I'm grateful, and I'm overflowing with joy because I would be launching our People Manager on Cam for 2022. Maraming salamat po for being with us today, sharing with us your time, talent, and energy. Okay, mag-POL po tayo or tinatawag nating proof of life for those watching on Facebook of PMAP and live wherever you are, however you are doing this. Let's do a proof of life chat right now. At ang tanong, nako, mahirap itong tanong na ito. Ano ang kinain mo ng lunch? What did you have for lunch? This is my way to know if ako lang po ba ay nag-iisa or I am with you, with the entire PMAP family and community. All right, I'm going to look at my chat area right now. We are live on StreamYard, Facebook, and all kinds of social media platform. Go ahead, type your answer now. All right? I am also checking if I would see comments from our mga kaibigan, kapamilya, kapatid sa pananampalataya, proof of life. What was your lunch? Sana naman po nag-lunch kayo. Alright? Sabi ni Joanne Rosary, no lunch yet na ma'am. Sana naman po ay meron kang kainin. Inasal from Delius. Ayan na, excited na. Dumadami na ang aking mga comments. I haven't had lunch yet kasi nga naman po, 12:30 ang lunch natin. And go ahead, proof of life, type what you had or what you want to have for lunch. Ako, when I have a big events such as this, I go to my comfort food. And there's three of them. Spam, corned beef, at sinangag na kanin. Yan po ang kinain ko preparing for today. My dear friends and PMAP family, welcome to the launch of People Manager on Cam 2022. And without any more delay, I would like to share with you what we've been sharing on social media. Today, our topic and our theme is keep faith. All right, let us show our slides at this point, and I would like to celebrate today being March 16. We have great, insightful speakers and very supportive moderators that will be having conversations from here until 2 p.m. And trivia, pag sinabi po nating PMAP on Cam, PMAP. P stands for People Watch. That is going to be the first segment. The second segment is Musts. The third segment is Anticipate This. And the last segment before 2 p.m. is Perk Your Heart. Last year, I had the chance to be invited as a speaker being a plantita in Perk Your Heart. And I totally enjoyed the experience. Shout out to Ma'am Sarah. So, as we move forward, let me now share with you that why you should stick with us until 2 p.m. The first segment will be on faith to faith. And of course, we have our Madam President Ellen Folido. Hi, ma'am. Joanne Chung. And of course, our editor-in-chief, Jovenier Bataycan. That's going to be the first segment from 1 to 1:15. Let me now move forward to the next segment. And this is about managing psychological contracts. O, di ba? Medyo technical, tsaka relevant. We will have our guest, Mariel Vargas Gina, and our segment host, Jacqueline Louie. So that's going to be from 1:15 to 1:30. Moving forward, let's now go to the third segment. And letter A is Anticipate This. And the title is Manifest Your Dreams. Our guest is Cherry Pua Africa, a coach, and segment host Cecil Ramos Carlos. Nakita ko ang tech run nila. Ang ganda po ng tandem nilang dalawa. And of course, I'll be back with you, and I will be with Coach Boris of Breakthrough Leadership, and we will be talking about Faithful in Action. Super ganda ng lineup, ng launch, ng PMAP on Cam. So please stay tuned, and I suggest while you enjoy and sitting back with us, have lunch. And today I had been invited to share something that is close to my heart. And the title of my short and sweet talk today is How to Make Your Audience Virtually Ignited. Alright, yan po ang title natin for the next few minutes before 1 p.m. Napakaganda po ng topic natin ngayon. How can we really engage with our audience now that we are yet still in face-to-face? May nagbabadyang virtual, may nagbabadyang face-to-face rather, and right now we are in limbo or in transition. Nasa na nga ba tayo sa era ng COVID-19? Proof of life number two. I want to ask you this question. What is your role today? And you may type your organization. Go ahead. Again, POL for me is just making sure that while I am virtual, you are with me. All right. Going to my comments area right now. Question is, please type, you may type your name and your role and your company. Go ahead. Ang mga nakikita ko sa comments area ay mga kinain pa natin ng lunch. So pangalawang POL na po ito. Type your name, your role, and your current company today. Answering this same question, again, I'm JV. I'll be with you for the next few minutes, and I am with People Ignite, and I am one of the facilitators of the organization. All right? So, hindi ko pa nakikita ang mga sagot natin. Babalikan ko ang ating comments area. Why is that an important question to ask? Because I want to know why you are here. I want to know what made you come here today. It is in between your lunch hour, and yet you are spending time with us. Hi, Ria Hoyt said she is a facilitator, and I would like people with me today flood your comment area and please chat and let us talk. It is important to know why you're doing what you do. It is important to think, how are you going to do it? And at the end of the day, since life is short, what is the outcome you want to have in everything that you do? All right? So, still waiting for your messages. As we move forward into this title, How to Make Your Audience Virtually Ignited, a little background of who I am. I started my career way back early 2000 in Microsoft. I worked for Microsoft Philippines for 4 years, hailing Ria being my office mate at that time, Ria Hoyt. And after 4.5 years, I decided to just leave the organization and put a People Ignite from scratch. So zooming in today, we do training, team building, coaching, and planning. I remember my niece asking me, sabi niya, Tita JV, how busy are you? Siyempre, hindi ako masyado nakasagot sa tanong na yon. No? How I wish I could say, I am not busy. But yes, time is short, so many things to do, so little time. And by average, I am standing with you on the floor doing training, team building, or planning probably 3 to 4 times in a week. Almost the entire week. Now, I am grateful and feeling blessed that in this 19 years of being with People Ignite, we have been in partnership with PMAP for 15 years. Grabe, no? Ang tagal na rin, 15 years. And I did EIC work or editor-in-chief work. Hi, Sir Jove. Siya na ngayon ang boss ko po. I do a lot of talks. I've done some hosting, and I love to moderate for PMAP. Yan po ang relationship ko with PMAP. Maraming salamat po sa inyong tiwala. For today, since our topic is how do we really connect with our audience virtually, let me share with you a story, and then which will flow into tips, and then hopefully all of us would think and type on our Sdgo. Or Sdgo is something to grow on. Recognizing my training partner Ron Jacobe who taught me Sdgo. Yan po yung tatlong outline ng pag-uusapan natin ngayon. Ready ka na po ba? Alright, sana nga, ready na. Maikling storya. So the story goes like this. In my head and in my mind, I created 3 era. The BC, DC, and AC. Hindi po ito before Christ, hindi din to after Christ. BC is before COVID, DC is during COVID, and AC is after COVID. Pag-usapan natin siguro in 1 minute ang role ng COVID sa buhay natin. COVID. Please think and type. If you are to describe the pandemic experience, can you please type one word on chat? This entire 2 years in the pandemic, what do you think is a good description for you with the pandemic? Go ahead. I will give myself a few seconds to wait for your answers. Go ahead. Sana po meron na makipag-usap sa akin. Think and type po tayo. I-describe mo ang pandemya nitong 2 taon na bumalot sa atin in one word. Alright? Life changing. Go ahead. And I am recognizing Anna May Tabada saying, I am here to learn, and that's the role. If I may describe it, it is a joint word of roller coaster. So my entire pandemic era is really a roller coaster ride. I experienced a lot of ups and downs, lost a few relatives, had a lot of challenges, and I should say 2021 super hirap po for me and my family. But thank God 2022 looking and seeing hope already for the new year. So when I say before COVID, during COVID, and after COVID, nahirapan din po ang team ko, ang People Ignite, pagdating sa pandemya because we were compelled to pivot from face to face all the way to virtual. We were not ready. We were in shock. We were very humbled. But thank you to clients that trusted us, said, kaya nyo yan, susuportahan namin kayo. So, March 15 being the lockdown period of in the Philippines back in 2020, in 45 days, we really had to pivot virtually. But you know what, guys? Ito na, heart to heart na ito. Whether face-to-face or virtual, kailangan meron tayong batayan or inaangklahan. Sa People Ignite po, ang aming mission statement is we exist to positively ignite others. Yan po ang pinanghahawakan namin nasaan man kami. The word ignite is very powerful. Ang definition ng ignite is to cause something to start burning, to catch on fire. Kung baga, nagliliyab. And when we say People Ignite po, ang trabaho ko sa People Ignite before COVID is I would be usually with a lot of people doing team buildings, trainings, and Think on Your Feet po, yung paborito kong programa na niraran no, for a few years now. Enjoy din po ako sa mga conventions at conferences. Actually, masaya po ang face-to-face dahil kita mo sila, ramdam mo ang kanilang SM aura, at ramdam na ramdam mo yung enerhiya. But of course, ano po ba ang nangyari sa atin, di ba? We didn't have any emergency toolkit to survive. We were shocked with what happened and nagtanong tayo, why does it have to happen? Who will be hit by COVID? When will it hit us? When will it hit my family? Where will it begin? And how do I move from here? Aaminin ko po, hindi naging madali ang pag-move forward ko during COVID. But you know what? The good thing about this is that nakakapag-adjust tayo. So, I am not a very techie person, pero naaral ko po. Naaral ko with the help of my People Igniters, nakapag-set up ng virtual, natutunan, umiyak, humalakhak. Sobrang roller coaster ride ng nararamdaman natin kapag nasa pandemya at kapag nasa virtual. Hindi po ako techie pero ang virtual task force ng People Ignite, tinuruan po akong maintindihan ang iba't ibang application. Ang favorite ko po, personal to ha, personal ay Zoom. For me, it's the easiest. And then we learned how to do Cisco Webex, MS Teams, Kahoot, Mentimeter. Ang PMAP, magaling po in researching different apps. Kaya hindi natin maaalis ang maging creative, ang maging resourceful, at ang magtulungan during the pandemic. And this is how I learned my experiences in the virtual space. I would like to share with you before I share my tips and what I learned in the virtual space. I realized that yung audience po natin, whether it is just a meeting or whether it is a big town hall, or baka nakaka-attend ka na ng malakihang convention ng PMAP, our audience span from 1 to about 1,000. Here, I am proud to share that I spent time with Brother Bo Sanchez, one of the renowned speakers in the Catholic community, and we moderated for 1,000 doctors a few months ago. So for me, this is the largest I've had moderated for and I spoke for. But you know what, my dear friends, meron din po akong favorite na method, yung one-on-one. Zoom, MS Teams, Webex, kahit saan pa yan, Viber, Messenger, Instagram, call it, you name it, we are there. Kaya natin to. kahit na anong platform. Ngayon, my dear friends and family of PMAP, 1 to 1,000. Pag-usapan natin ang audience na hinaharap mo. So, third proof of life. Kadalasan, dear PMAP community, sino ang kinakausap mo virtually? Go ahead, type your answers on chat. Nagbabantay po ako. Tinitingnan ko kung merong nanonood sa atin, kung merong sumusuporta sa PMAP for the launch. Go ahead. Who would usually be your audience when you do your virtual speaking or meeting or facilitating? Go ahead. Waiting for, and I would like to recognize a few people who typed also. Hi, Mom Leia said exhausting as a description of the pandemic. My journey during the pandemic was existential. Wow, philosophical and very deep. Let me now go to a few answers here. Drexler said employees, clients. I pitch as a vendor. Very good. All right. Colleagues and office mates, and typically would be clients. Tandaan po natin, importanteng malaman kung sino po ang ating audience. And I am recognizing my office mate, Christine Militante, who would always remind me, JV, audience of one. JV, audience of one. From her spiritual perspective, it is God who will do anything in His power to use our talents. It is God who calls us to do what we do. Audience of one. Yan po ang principle natin. Tapos na po tayo sa story, nabigyan ko na kayo ng context, na-share ko na rin yung challenges ko virtually adjusting to technology. Punta na po tayo sa tips. Ready na po? I am excited to share with you my favorite mindset. Part of it is the who, what, where, when, why, and how. Hi, Miss Sarah. I'm recognizing you and thank you for answering employees, partners, and PMAP network. Hi, Sarah. She was my moderator last year when we were talking about love for plants. Plantita din po ako. All right. When we talk about the audience, when we talk about you preparing for your talk, importante po ang 5W and 1H. Who means sino ba ang imimit mo? Sino ang dadalo? Who will be your audience in the virtual space? What? What is the theme? Hindi lang topic, guys, ha? Theme. You have to see it in an organizational big picture. What is the theme? What's the thrust? What is their vision, mission, and values? Kailangan i-research yan. And what is the topic handed to you? Where? Anong platform? Alright, sige. Proof of life number 4. 2 years na tayong nagbe-virtual, so I suppose medyo meron ka ng paboritong platform. I-type mo sa chat. Saan ka gamay? Alright? And if you type Messenger, it's totally fine. If you type Viber, it's totally fine. That's considered a communication channel. Where will you meet? Go ahead, type that on chat. Okay? So we've done Zoom, we've done MS Teams, we've done WebEx, we've done StreamYard. Minsan nakakalito at nakakaloka ang iba't ibang platform na kailangang pag-aralan. Go ahead. MS Teams, hi Maxine. Right? Well, we consider security, we consider interaction, we consider breakout room, you consider a lot of things. You consider tech runs. Let's now go to when. Kailan? Kailan ka inimbita? Kailan ka magmo-moderate? Kailan ka magfa-facilitate ng meeting? Hindi pwedeng cramming. Alright? Kailangan time management. As Rhea Hoyt, my time management mentor would always say, if it's not in your calendar, you're not gonna do it. So when? Bigyan mo ng panahon ang sarili mong makapagprepara. Why? Bakit ka inimbita? Junket lamang ba? Or is there a value you can give to the audience? Why do they need you? Why are they doing a team building? Why are they asking you to coach them? Kapag hindi maayos or malinaw ang why, sabog ang preparasyon natin, my dear PMAP friends. And of course, ang paborito nating how, right? How are you going to do it? Anong estilo mo bilang speaker? Ang style ko ay iba sa style ni Rhea. Ang style ko ay iba sa style ni Miss Sarah. Ang style ko ay iba sa style ni EIC Jove. Magkakaiba tayo. So it is important for you to know what your style is, what methodology, how much tools you will use, how much time do you have, and how are you going to do it. So, mag 5W mindset po tayo. Let's now go to the 6 igniting tips before we close our talk for this particular moment. Number 1, my favorite is daanan, hapyawan, at i-checklist ang 5 W's and 1 H. It is important that when you're preparing for a simple talk, a simple coaching conversation, a grand convention, or a 1,000 kind of moderation, itong 5 W and 1 H for me, it's classic tool of reference. Ask your client, ask the event organizer, ask, maging makulit ka. Kasi pag hindi ka nag-research, malay mo, di ba? Malay mo, hindi ka aligned sa tema nila. Tip number 2, guys, I hope you're with me and I hope that you're tuning in this conversation. Create a flow that will be intentional and purposeful. My dear friends, tandaan natin, all right? We're not doing the work that we do just for the sake na may sweldo tayo. No, no, no. We do this to honor God. We do this to honor our company. We do this to help and support PMAP. There should always be a purposeful intention. Kailangan solid ang why. So those are my first 2 tips. Punta po tayo sa next slide. When I said create a flow that is intentional and purposeful, I'd like to honor my FIG. FIG are facilitators and igniters group po ng People Ignite. They are my extended family. Itong sinishare ko sa inyo ay hindi lamang galing sa akin. A few days ago, I sat down with them virtually moderating this conversation on how to engage with audience ignitefully. Sa kanila po nanggaling ang intentional and purposeful. Punta po tayo sa third tip at 12:52. Kaya natin to at 1 o'clock, guys. Number 3, connect using their lingo. Yung lengguwahe nila. Alright? Baka kasi 100% English mo, yung palang lengguwahe nila ay 90% Tagalog. Alright? So, you have to sway and you have to mold into the culture, into the language of your audience. Kung barok sila, then pwede kang magbarok. Kung full Tagalog sila, mag-aral ka na ng Filipino language mo. Kung full English, because of international attendees, you have to respect language. My dear friends, this is what I call language inclusivity and respect. Let's now go to the 4th tip. Ignite their senses. Ayan, yan ang favorite ko. Ladies and gentlemen, and to everyone in the room, my favorite is igniting their senses. JV question, virtually, paano yung sense of smell, sense of taste, sense of touch? Virtual parang sense of sight lang eh. No, no, no. You may be wrong on that one. In fact, I love the virtual space because this is where I can use the 5 senses. Sense of smell, I do 3 things. Stretch, breathe, and move. I make people move. I ask people to dance. I give them micro breaks, hug their kids, play with their pets for 5 minutes, come back. I make them touch virtually one another. Walang makapagpipigil, walang limitasyon kahit naka-virtual. And kanina, tinanong ko ang proof of life, anong kinain mo? That is sense of taste. And then ang sense of hearing is very important. It is important for you to actively listen. So my dear friends, I'm on my 4th tip. Let's now go to the 5th tip. The 5th tip right here is smile. Smile. Ngumiti ka at ngingiti pabalik ang mundo sa'yo. So Mahatma Gandhi once said, if you want to see change, then you are the smile that you want to see in the world. You are the change that you want to see in the world. So just to let you know, among my photos, this is my favorite. Here, I represent Team Empower. I belong in a triathlon community as a charity athlete, and I represent them. We raise funds by running. We raise funds to bring back smiles of kids born with cleft lip and palate. Smile today. Walang bayad, walang ka-effort. And when you smile in front of the camera, on cam, just give them the benefit of the doubt that you're able to ignite them. All right? If I may go to the last tip, and this is for me, my core, this is for me, my secret of source of energy. I pray. I pray before the session. I pray during the session while I'm with you. And I thank God after the session. So, my dear friends, typically this is how I pray. Dear God, I'm nervous today. I might lose words. I might encounter memory gap. Be my thoughts, be my words, and be my action. Dear God, be my words, thoughts, be my words, and be my action. So, my dear friends, you've done everything you can to prepare. You did your preparation, your research, asking questions. You did a flow and content that is intentional and purposeful. During the preparation, you looked into your audience. You were trying to trigger, igniting their senses. You were asking them to chat with you, giving them micro breaks, coming back, affirming, encouraging them when we talk. Come to think about it, at the end of the day, nakakapagod. Pagod ka, alright? Gutom ka, antok ka. But come to think about it, dear God, do as you please. Dear Lord, do with me as you plan. Because my time, my talent, my effort, and my energy have to be given back to you in all your glory. My dear friends from PMAP, audience of one, whether you have one person to coach, 10 people to meet, 100 people in the town hall, or just like my unforgettable experience as a moderator for 1,000 doctors, always remember at the end of the day, we give it back to God. So, my dear friends, I hope that you enjoyed our tips for today, starting with a little story of how it was difficult to pivot from face to face to virtual, seeking support from your colleagues, putting together a virtual task force, learning different apps just so to navigate the virtual space, and then loving work from home. May nagbabadya, may marites, may murmur na babalik na ba talaga tayo sa opisina? Ito lang po ang aking masasabi at 12:57 before we truly launch you into the four segments of PMAP on Cam. Ito lang po ang masasabi ko. Where you are is where you should be. Where you are is where you should be. The past 2 years have been memorable, challenging, and life changing for me. I was able to spend time with Wowie, my husband, my two kids. I transitioned to homeschooling as a mom. I transitioned my entire business to virtual. Thanks be to God for a great 2 years. Feeling and heading to the post pandemic era, eto na, yung pangatlong era natin, guys, no? Yung pangatlong era natin, which is after COVID. Where you are is where you should be. My dear friends, I can't help but read a few love notes on chat. Hi, Ms. Anna May Tabada Suarez. My key takeaway from this live is identify the objective or purpose why I'm doing this. Know my audience and make sure that whatever I do, it is to honor God. Ms. Anna May Tabada Suarez, I will use that as my closing message. With that, my dear friends, I hope that you were able to enjoy our session today. And the last stretch here is, what is your STGO, or something to grow on? What is your STGO as something to grow on as you facilitate virtually? Please type that on chat, the last proof of life. My something to grow on is, I want to learn more technology tools. My STGO is, I would like to listen more actively. My STGO, go ahead guys, chat with me on this one. After listening to my 30-minute talk on virtually igniting others, what is your STGO? My STGO is to affirm, encourage people more often. Go ahead, think about it, and type it. For our PMAP friends and partners who chatted with me today, maraming salamat po at naramdaman kong hindi ako nag-iisa. Again, let's think about our SDGO as we move forward. A story, a few tips, and SDGO, let's learn from peers.